Hey, we are back. This one should not take very long. This should be a very short video, and we are going to talk about predator-prey relationships a little bit and biological magnification. Oh, I clicked a button. Okay, let me find predator-prey. All right, so predator-prey relationships. What does that mean? Well, you know that in the world there are predators and there are prey, right? In the animal kingdom, most most of the things you see on Nat Geo or BBC or Planet Earth, things like that, they really focus on predator prey relationships because that's where there's a lot of movement in the animal kingdom. There's it's an action scene and people love action scenes because otherwise it's just sitting around staring at a bird, hanging out in a tree. But so when you come to a lot of movement and violence and there's a chase scene and are they going to make it, and the suspense, it's almost always about predator prey relationships on nature shows. Excuse me. So how does it work? Why do we even need predators? What's up with that? So you can be both a predator and prey. Okay. So for example, snakes. Snakes are a predator to mice, but birds can eat snakes, and so thus snakes are prey to birds. And then birds would be the predator in that scenario. So whoever is killing is the predator, and whoever is being killed is the prey. All right. So these are the types of relationships that predators and preys predators and preys? Anyway, prey can have. So predators can control the prey population size. That means that the prey population size can only get as big as the predators allow it to because the predators are going to be eating. So if there are no natural predators, right, because we've killed them or humans have gotten rid of their habitat, I gotta tell you, humans are like the absolute worst. Like, we are the worst. Anyway, if we do that, then the prey population can be overpopulated. It will die due to starvation and disease. And overall, the health of the group goes down. So it's really not good. The reason that we hunt now is to try to act like an artificial predator. We've hunted to extinction the natural predators. So like bears in Arkansas, we've hunted to extinction and have had to reintroduce bears to this region. And other places have done that with wolves. They've hunted wolves to extinction, and so they've had to try to reintroduce that as a predator because humans just don't know when to quit. All right. So let's see. Yeah, okay, so we already did that. Next slide. The prey population can also control the size of the predator population. Well, how is that possible? Well, your population can only get as large as your food source, right? So we've talked about this in carrying capacity. During times of plenty, you have more babies. So if these wolves or whatever, bears, fill in the blank, have all of this, food available, let's take deer, right? If the bears are just like nomming some deer, or the wolves are just like num 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 deer, and they have all these deer to eat, well, that means that the wolves are now going to have babies, right? They're like, look, we can do this. Like, it's time to have babies. There's a lot of food here. We can flourish. And the problem is once you do that, the deer population goes down. And so that means that there's not as much food. So when there's not as much food, that limiting factor really controls how big that wolf population can become. And so ultimately some of those wolves will starve, and so the wolf population will then decrease. So absolutely the prey population can potentially control the predator population. Here's another option. They may have no relationship at all. Well, how is that possible? Ingle, you're telling me that predators eat prey, yes? Yes. You're telling me that prey can control the predator population sometimes. Yes, yes. But they may have no relationship at all. So when is a time where they would have no relationship at all? if you have a very diverse diet, okay? So omnivores are like one of the best examples of this. So let's take bears. Bears are one of the most famous omnivores on the planet. So omnivores eat plants and animals. This is very smart because you actually get most of your energy from plants. Like if you look at those trophic levels, it has the most bang for its buck, actually exists in the plant level. So here's the deal. Bears eat lots of things. As long as food is available to them, bears will consume it. So bears may come across, berries of many, many varieties, and they will eat them. Bears will come across deer. They may eat them or they may not. Bears come across fish. They will try to eat them. It's just they're very opportunistic, but their diet is large and diverse. So let's say that one particular, like the blueberries, let's say blueberry populations go down due to disease, right, of the plant. Is that going to necessarily cause the bear population to go down? No, probably not. As long as there are lots of other berries and fish in that area, the bears may not even really notice a big change at all because they have so many options. It's like trying to choose from a buffet. It's like, oh, well, okay, you're out of this. I'll just go grab something else. Like, it's not going to cause me to starve. It just causes me to choose another food. So that's a time where predators and prey may have no relationship to one another at all. All right. This is a graph showing a predator-prey relationship. Basically, all you need to gain from this graph, because you will practice on your own, is that when one goes up, there's a delay and then the other will go up. So if prey are going up because they're having more babies, then there will be a delay and then predators will go up in population. When prey go down, predators will go down. And this just will continue forever. Now, why is that? Why is there a delay? There's a delay because of something called gestation. Gestation is the term used to describe how long it takes to grow a baby. So for humans, we have a moderately long gestation for mammals because ours is 40 weeks, which is about 10 months. I know they say it's 9 months, but it's really closer to 10. So we would have a 9-month gap. Now, elephants, on the other hand, have a 22-month gestation, meaning that they're pregnant for almost 2 years. And that would be an even longer gap. Whereas some prey only have, like a 4-month pregnancy from start to finish. And bada boom, bada bing, they're done. And so that delay is much shorter because most of the time predators are attacking babies, the elderly, the sick, the weak, the slow, anything like that. There's a common joke that says, I don't have to be faster than the bear. I just have to be faster than the slowest member of my party. And sadly, that's how nature works. You don't have to be a gazelle that is faster than the cheetah every time. You just have to be the gazelle that's faster than another gazelle. Because ultimately your goal is survival. And as sad as that is to say, that's it. Like, that's it. Your goal is to survive. And nature has pre-programmed you that way. There's nothing you can really do about it. Okay. All right. Biological magnification. What is it? This one's a really easy concept to understand, but it seems like a lot of adults don't. So I need you to go out into the world and be just like the best people. So biological magnification happens when a toxin is introduced into an ecosystem and it goes up the trophic levels. It goes up the food chain. It gets magnified. That's what magnification, why it's in the title. It gets magnified in toxicity or in strength as it goes up that chain. So let me give you an example. In history, there's something called DDT. I'm not sure if you guys still talk about DDT or not in history. I think it's circa World War II. History teachers are going to be like, what? I'm pretty sure it's around World War II. Don't know. It's a pesticide, right? And turns out it causes cancer, just like so much cancer. And people would drop it out of airplanes and like crop dust their fields. People used to bathe their children in it. There are many famous pictures of kids in like big metal wash tubs and like using it like it's shampoo. And this stuff causes so much cancer. Like, so anyway, okay, so here's the deal. It gets in your water stream because a lot of people think, okay, if I just throw this out a window or if this company is just leaking it into a creek, like, in small quantities, is it really a big deal? And you look at a number like this, like look at this slide. You see a number that says 0.000003 ppm. What's ppm? It stands for parts per million. So it's 0.000003 parts per million? Ingle, you're telling me I'm supposed to care about this? 0.00003 parts per million? What? Okay, hear me out. So yes, it's 0.000003 parts per million in the water. And trust me when I say that companies do this a lot because it looks like a really, really small number. But there are these critters named zooplankton, and they eat this stuff in the water and they process it. And it immediately goes from 0.000003 parts per million to 0.04 parts per million in one jump. That's a huge jump. That's giant. And then we get the little baby fish, right? Like the little minnow type things. And they eat the zooplankton and it goes up to 0.5 parts per million. And we've only made another jump. Then we get the big fish and it's 2 parts per million. Then we get to the bird that's eating the big fish and it's 25 parts per million. We've gone up to 25 parts per million in one food chain. And that's when it started out as 0.000003 parts per million. Imagine if it started out at 0.04 parts per million. How much stronger would it be by the time it got to the bird? Now, why are you going to care, right? Some of you will care because you see where I'm going with this. Others need me to say this next statement. You are the bird, okay? Like, yes, I've given you an example that's aquatic, so maybe you don't understand that, but you're the bird. And sometimes you're above the bird, okay? So, for example, do you eat fish? Some of you do. I know you do. Do you eat sushi? Okay, start thinking about this. You're the bird. Think about when you eat crawfish. Some of you eat crawfish. Some of you eat crawdads. I call them crawdads. I know that other people call them crawfish. They're crawdads. I used to catch them in the creek. They're crawdads. If you eat crawdads, you're further down on that list, but think about how many crawdads you're eating because you're not eating, the equivalent of what the minnow would eat. You're eating more than what the bird would eat. So not only are you the bird, but you're eating far more of this than the bird would consume. And this causes cancer. Y'all, we dropped this out of airplanes. We made our babies bathe in it. It's outlawed. There is an entire book called The Silent Spring, and it talked about how the poisoning using DDT caused all of these ecosystems to go completely silent because it killed them all. Yes, we got rid of DDT, but let's take a moment here, right? People who were using DDT were under advisement to use it as it was safe, okay? Do you not think that there are products on the market right now, that are under advisement as safe that could be cancer causing? Do you not think that this is still going on and people just aren't talking about it? Some of you have heard about this, and that's amazing that some of this has come to light because there's a lot of money that's going to keep that hush hush. You know what I'm saying? The fines for some of the big companies, it's cheaper to pay the fine than to use the correct processing. It's a sad world we live in, kids. Anyway, I have now educated you, and I'm trying to make you the best consumers and adults that I can, and I'm trying so hard. So anyway, be critical thinkers. Do not be sheep. Bye.